Oh, how you doing? Vito here. They asked me to come in here and talk about RevGen and generating revenue and how to sell to VITO. Well, let me tell you something. Nobody's selling nothing to VITO, okay? And if you want to generate revenue, I don't know what the big deal is. You simply make them an offer they can't refuse. Forget about it.
No, Tony. We're talking about the Tony Parinello strategy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't quite get it, but let me get this thing off here. Oh, all right. I guess that makes a little bit more sense, huh? So, yes, thank you guys. We're going to talk today a little bit about selling to VITO, based on the book by Tony Parinello called Selling to VITO, the very important top officer. Get to the top, get to the point, and get to the sale. It's a great book. Many of you, it's been out for a long time. It's been revised a few times. And a few years back, we had the good fortune of being able to work with the author, Tony Parinello, on our Northern New England team, and as well as we also did it with the East Division. So basically, the information for the course is out there on the share drive. You're going to go to the share drive, go into training materials, and you'll see VITO files out there, and that's where everything that you can get if you want to run the program. So it takes a few hours, and it's going to take some time, so we can't go through it all here. But I wanted to give you a brief overview of the program. Program is based into 5 parts. The first, attitudes and personality traits of a VITO. The second is how to create a compelling VITO letter. Third is creating an opening statement that really gets VITO's attention. The fourth is handling gatekeepers, receptionists, VITO's personal assistant, as well as voicemail. And the last part is handling VITO's objections. So let's take them one by one. Attitudes and personality traits of a VITO. Important things to remember here is VITO cares about 4 things. Basically, generating more revenue, how to increase revenue, how to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of his revenue-generating employees. The third thing is saving money and reducing costs, and the last thing is staying out of trouble. Very similar to what our strengths are. VITO is got a big ego, and so you need to get to the point, and you have to have equal business stature with VITO. Those are the critical things to understand about attitudes and personality. And again, it goes deeper in on the audio tapes. The second thing is the VITO letter. VITO letter is based on basically the concept of how VITO reads things. Reads things like a newspaper, basically. So it needs to have a headline, and it's got to get to the point quickly, or else you're going to lose VITO's attention. So we're going to show you how to create, in the program, a valuable VITO letter with an attention-grabbing headline. The third part is where the rubber really meets the road, the opening statement to VITO. Basically, the steps are up here. When you make that opening statement, you're going to state the prospect's name, you're going to give a pleasantry, which is basically a conversational bridge, to get you to your balanced gain equation. The balanced gain equation is basically, we can do this for you while also doing this in a certain time period. So we can increase revenue while keeping you compliant within the next 30 days, for example. At that point, you're probably going to get some form of interruption, because you probably have noticed we haven't given our name or where we're from yet, and that's by design. At that point, they might say, who is this? And you're going to say, oh, my name's Tony Rubico. And if they ask you then who you're with, you say ADP, whatever. And then you end at your last question, which is basically something like, what do you look for in a business relationship? So what I'm going to do is go through it as if I were making a call to VITO for the opening statement, to give you a sense for what it looks like, because this incorporates a lot of elements, but this is what it's going to boil down to. So basically, you understand the attitudes, you've sent the letter, and now you're following up with VITO like you said you would in your letter. Hello, Mr. Benefito. Yes, it's an honor to finally speak with you. We believe that we can make your mission-critical employees more effective while ensuring compliance throughout the organization within the next 120 days. Oh, yes, this is Tony Rubico with ADP. I have a question for you. What do you look for in a business relationship? And that's it. VITO's going to come back. This is basically designed to be an opening statement. They're going to come back with questions and objections, which we'll get to in a minute. So you're basically going to hear things like, I'm not the right person, speak to somebody in payroll and HR because they're going to judge you on the ADP thing. What is it that you do? Who are you? It's not my area, I'm all set, not interested, or call me in 3 months, 6 months, call me in a year, whatever. So those are the types of objections you're going to basically get. So, you know, in the program, again, Tony goes over how to handle all those things, and you'll have to be armed because there's only 6 or 7 objections, and you'll be able to handle each one effectively. And the last piece is the gatekeeper's receptionist, VITO's personal assistant, voicemail. Very similar to leaving the opening statement, but with different twists on it. So for example, on the voicemail, it's the same opening statement, but you have bookends around it. So you might say, Vito, if you were here to take my call, this is what you would have heard. Then you go through the entire opening statement, you get to the ending question, what do you look for in a business relationship, and then you say, I'll call your office in 24 hours or whatever it may be to follow up with you on this. Thank you. So that's it. Attitudes and personality traits, the veto letter, opening statements to veto, handling objections, gatekeepers, receptionists, assistants, and voicemail. I mentioned to you that everything's out on the shared drive. It's a great program. It's a great way to increase your meetings with VITOs and top officers in the organization. Go out there, learn it, and go get them. VITO Selling.